Hi, this is Mike, and we're looking at the Bitcoin chart. So, excuse me for my grogginess earlier in my previous post. I had just woken up. I needed to freshen up, have breakfast, that type of thing. So, now let's get down to work. So, here we could see a very decent, nice retracement for Bitcoin, having basically almost retraced the entire move down since that Silvergate thing happened. Um, it's very interesting to note, how the waves are definitely just tracking along as normal, and Bitcoin is heavily influenced by the very system it's trying to escape, which is kind of ironic, banking system. To me, it's just interesting because what's coming next will basically take Bitcoin a lot lower, but it's also going to affect the wider economy. Now, this is just another update in a series of updates that I'll be posting today. I just think it's important to keep on top of these moves as they happen, especially because we're about to head down in wave three, a third of a third wave, a large degree one. So I think it's imperative to keep on top of this. So if you were sad that we missed the initial drop down, don't worry, because we're coming back, probably going to come back to the same area where you should have got in. And this time we won't be making the same mistake again. I also want to show you how this pattern here reminds me of this pattern up here, little wave 1, 2 we saw here, and how this pattern is very similar in that, you had your A, your B, your C, and then the D was tiny and the E went up. I'll, I'll zoom in so you can have a look, right? It's these patterns repeat at all degrees of trend. You just got to know how to spot them. You got to know where you are. It's like AriasWave is like a map to the waves, right? If you ever decide to join the program, there's just a bunch of material that explains the waves, right? There's not too much theory. There's a little bit, but really it's just getting your head around the pattern in bear and in bull mode, right? So here you could see that we had this A, B, a weak C, right? There's a very small D in the middle there, and then we had E, right? You'll notice how it started off choppy and it got really full on at the end, right? It's just another example of how these waves occur. It's not that I can predict the future, it's just that I follow the pattern, right? The pattern gives me clues, and I just, basically report what I'm seeing at the time and how it fits into the RS wave, set of corrective waves, right? It's just a map to the patterns that are going to occur in every single correction, every single time, without fail. I'm telling you, without fail, every single time. Otherwise, RS wave would not be able to exist if that didn't actually happen. So this is proof of that. This is proof that yesterday, yes, I did get it wrong once here, thinking that the D wave had ended prematurely, right? But look, as I explained yesterday in one of my videos, those expanded type 2 wave Ds, they're not easy to detect, right? So even though we had a good entry and a big pullback for a weak zigzag wave 1, we had a almost 99% retracement, not quite, probably like 97%, right? And then, the waves take care of themselves, right? They don't need anyone to try and attend to them, to guess what they're doing. They're going to do what they're going to do, right? There's no guessing really. Okay, trading should not be about guessing. It should be about identification, right? If you can identify which wave is happening when, this is the result. This type of thing can happen. This is an absolutely amazing result, and it's not over yet, right? So if you want to short Bitcoin, to make a massive profit to the downside, then I suggest you be very careful and listen to how this works. Okay, so zigzag wave one started off weak. Now this is an overall weak pattern. The clues are already there, right? I even I updated the idea when price was actually right here, right? If you go back and have a look at the last idea from yesterday, when the market was right here, I said this is a weak 5 wave move developing, right? You can go have a look. I did. I posted the update comment, right? So then we saw this wave 3 zigzag, right? So wave C was massive compared to wave A, right? But nonetheless, it is what it is, right? You got your a really insane B wave with yet another C wave extended, right? Why is that? Because of the news, right? The news took this, it propelled the B wave higher. Then you got a C wave down. So the only thing that gave the clue away for me in my half asleep state this morning was this zigzag here, right? Another small D wave, right? So by this point in time, the market was resting after its massive moves. Probably a bit of confusion was setting in, right? And it created this E wave, and I wasn't sure what was going on at that point. I thought, well, zigzags aren't full corrections, so what is this going to make a zigzag down or something? And then suddenly the light switched on. I thought, okay, well, it must be an E wave. All right, we broke the high, and you saw the video I posted. It went straight up, right? So that means that, okay, so we've seen A wave, right? The A wave of a zigzag. Now we're in wave 5. Okay, we're in wave 5 now. Okay, so what does that mean? It means that we have to see the last zigzag. So how is this going to unfold? I'll give you my 2 cents here, right? I think what's going to happen is that this is going to have a deep pullback and make it look like it's going to go down, because there's probably people thinking, oh, that was wave 5, I'm going to short this, right? Thinking they're all smart and intelligent, right? Except there's a problem. They probably already tried that and it failed. Now they're going to try it again. It's going to fail again, right? And this next move up will be the last move because it's the last zigzag, right? If you don't understand every single wave that's happened here, trying to short this will get you wrecked, right? You got to be very careful because the volatility is crazy at the end of these corrections, right? There's a reason for that, and it's because it's the last move, right? The price is getting ready to crash hard in wave 3, a third of a third wave on a large degree for a wave C down, right? So if you don't understand what the larger pattern is, right, I'll fill you um, in a second, I suppose. I could do it in the next video because this one's getting longer. So I think I might do that. I'll do it in the next video. I'll just recap. So once again, wait for a pullback because you got to think about this, right? You've got a 5 wave move, right? Which I think is done more than likely, right? I think it's done. Yeah. And then, so when we get a pullback to low levels, we have to be able to reload the chamber for a move higher, right? It can't just go to 0.618. Oh, it could. Oh, don't quote me on that. It really could. But then look how close it would get to, you know, that area right there. Now, don't get me wrong, Bitcoin is known for these weird, crazy moves, right? So I think the key here is to just be careful, right? Don't go crazy with the you know the risk, right? So whether or not you think it's going to go that close to the top there, because that's where you'd put your stop if you're shorting it. If it gets really close to that area, it'd be worth doing that, right? Um, I don't think it's a problem. I think that potentially what the deal is here is that the strength behind the move, it's almost like it would deter people from doing that because they would assume that it's going to go higher, right? It's going to break that level. But the thing is, I think that's the whole point of these moves in the first place, right? This weak wave move turned into a sharp wave move at the high. Bit suspicious, right? I think that there's a reason for that, and you shouldn't be caught out by it if you know what you're doing. So whether or not it actually goes that high is another story. It might actually just go to the 90% level, right? Which means I think I've got my Fibonacci on the wrong way at the moment, right? That's better. Now, what looks like an area of confluence around here? It looks like the 0.618 because you've got the larger degree 0.618 in the opposite direction, and you've got the 0.618 for this current move up. So, that could be a level of confluence, or it could go back down to 0.786, which is that red line there. And it really depends, right? So keep an eye on that, on those levels. You know, seeing as though it does have to make a pretty sharp move up, you never know. It could just go all the way down there to fake people out and then spring back all the way back up to knock out the shorts. And then once it's done that, reverse to the downside. All right. So this is the type of thing that I suggest you pay attention to, right? I'm not going to really be covering this too much in depth. Um, you should be all across it by now. You should understand what you're looking at. You should have all the evidence you need. Right, I suggest you learn the waves. I'm going to start recording episodes for my YouTube channel where I start talking about things and you can see me and stuff like that as I present it in like a AriasWave type of update news type episodes there. So I'm going to get busy doing that and I'll catch you on the next one.